Hey guys, I didn't tell you this, but I have a guest who was in one of the movies. Was in Checkin It Twice.
Ooh, oh my God, who is it?
Do you want to meet them? They're right here with me.
Sure. Yeah.
It's Mr. Wiggles. Hi, say hi, Mr. Wiggles.
What?
He doesn't like his tea too hot.
I have to talk about that moment because I'm tired of people assuming women find men who like teddy bear talk attractive.
Don't say it in front of Mr. Wiggles.
Don't say it in front of Mr. Wiggles.
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh
Oh, it's so regal.
Me.
It's so good. Mike has his.
I know. Mine's in the other room. I have just water.
I make sure to always drink out of this as a reminder that I never wear our Remark t-shirt because I don't have a Remark t-shirt. So yeah.
We can remedy that. And I've been thinking of new Remark t-shirts for this year, possibly.
Nice.
Speaking of Remark, welcome to Remark. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Reagan.
I'm one of the other hosts, Kristin Finger.
And I am a third host / pusher of buttons. My name is Mike G.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We have kicked off Countdown to Christmas 2023.
I like that you both are still have your Halloween decorations up though, at least.
I am not prepared to wear.
Feels early.
Sweaters.
This feels early.
It feels very early. I am going to wear my Halloween gear until Halloween happens, and then I'll switch over in November. This might still be up in November because I'm lazy, but
no, Halloween stuff I feel has to come down on November 1st.
Whoa.
Sorry. And my Christmas stuff goes up almost immediately, and people who go, why don't we have Thanksgiving decorations? Because who cares?
What if I put up this like bloody sheet behind me? Because it's red, but then it's also
so
Halloween. You guys talk. I'm gonna hang this.
Listen, that bloody sheet, I will tell you, might come into play in Christmas Under the Sky, the third movie we will talk about, but we're not quite there yet.
No.
Instead, we are going to be talking about the first movie we watched on Friday, October 20th at 8:00, and that is Checkin' It Twice.
Checkin' It Twice.
Checkin' It Twice.
Hockey. We got some hockey movie. This movie, you guys want the synopsis real fast?
I want it real fast because Kevin, I want to remind you, they want to hear us gab. They don't want to hear the plot because they watched it.
I know. I'm not doing that. I'm giving you the Hallmark synopsis, which is
okay. Let's hear it.
A journeyman hockey player, Scott, falls for a real estate agent, Ashley, in a career crisis. Who is in a career crisis when he's traded to her hometown and moves into the cottage in her hockey-loving family's backyard in Idaho Falls.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Directed by Kevin Fair, who directed Always Amore and We Need a Little Christmas.
Oh.
And written by Steve Beauregard, who, according to IMDb, this is their first writing credit for specifically for Hallmark, but I believe at all. So,
well, if they were the one that wrote the title, 2 thumbs up.
That sounds networky to me, but starring Kim Mottola from Ghosts of Christmas Always, which I did look this up. It was my number 3 movie last year. It was Kristin's number 4 movie last year. So we really
we did. I didn't even recognize her because I think she was very done up differently.
She was done up differently, I guess. Slightly. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I do like this, but also Kevin McGarry from the Wedding Veil series.
Yes.
When Calls the Heart. And
he's from Boston. He's the guy from Boston.
He's the one from Boston.
Correct.
Crush that accent every time.
So let's talk about it.
First of all, I love an opening of a movie where it's bad breakup phone call and then immediately another bad breakup phone call.
Yes.
Like
It was
two shifts in the night, back to back.
But the second breakup was like this wasn't a relationship that was working. The first one was a bad guy. We had our very first Hallmark bad guy.
Boo!
He was the worst.
Boo. Let's
Very
see what
guy, so smug.
Yeah.
Steals her listing. This guy stinks.
This guy stinks.
Oh.
Like he looks like he's trying to be Patrick Bateman, but failing miserably.
Absolutely, American Psycho. It's exactly what I thought of when I saw Huey Lewis started.
Do you think the actors that play the boyfriend, because this happens often, right? It's one of the check it off on your bingo, everybody. It's the bad boyfriend breakup. Do you think they're secretly like, man, I hope this gets me to the big, just like our main character. I hope this gets me to the big leagues. Maybe I'll be like a starring role in the next one. Or
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because well, remember we talked to Will Rubio, who played like one of the jerk boyfriends.
Yeah.
And he was saying that, he's like, that's just what I was born to play. Like, I'm not, but some of these actors might be like, oh, great.
Sure.
This is my beginning. And then I wonder if they can redeem themselves. Because if they keep playing bad boyfriends and then suddenly they're put into a lead, we're going to be like, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
I like that better. I want a lead that I hate the whole time. And we've had a few, not necessarily this weekend, but
no.
That's fine.
I like a nice little, is it a meet cute or a cute meet? What is it, Chris?
It's a meet cute.
Yeah.
Classic airport meet cute.
Yeah. From the failure of another. Clearly the service industry is going to hell.
Yeah. Also, bad service to begin with, because he had to ring that bell obnoxiously 9,000 times, and I was thrown it at his face.
It's an airport. Where was she?
Where are they? Where was she? And it's like a bar, but then it's also like a convenience place. Yeah. I'm confused.
There was nowhere. There's no back room. But so she switches their credit cards, which inevitably brings these two back together, where they have to get their credit card situation straightened out. And the way that they have to find each other is, I think I would jump way ahead on pictures if I do this to you, Mike, so I won't.
Don't do it.
But no, we can just talk about, like, Steve wants to be a hockey player. Yeah. He is a hockey player, but he wants to make the big, he is there. He comes to Idaho Falls because he wants to move up to Boise, from Boise to Seattle, and play in the NHL.
I mean, this is just like, this was Letterkenny, right? And that's why you're wearing your jersey.
Hockey in general. Here we go. This is where Ashley sees Steve on the ice and says, hey, you have my credit card. And he goes, you have my credit card. And they can hear each other.
I got really mad. And I was like, is this what we're doing? We're yelling at him during a hockey game. Yeah. I was like, I didn't like it. I thought she could have just found him afterwards. This was like too,
I like it. If you look, the woman to her right or left with the red and white scarf is her neck. We'll talk about her eggnog in a little bit. And then to her left, to our right, all the way on the other side, she's bookended with scarves. That's her dad there, who's a huge hockey fan.
Yeah.
And, so much a hockey fan.
So much so
that Steve stays in. Everyone in this town loves hockey. This is their bungalow. So Steve is going to stay. I say bungalow. You say guest house? I don't know. It's either. It's show of hands. Who here has a guest house on their property? Or not on their property. Who has a guest house? No, nobody.
Well,
I think people in California do, and I think that's where they make, and West Coast.
Yeah, this is Idaho Falls. So.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm sorry, but I mean, where the people that are writing these are from. There are many guest houses.
I feel like
school houses.
A guest house in Idaho is affordable, right? Like
probably
buying a house with a guest house, a pool, a barn, some horses probably costs the same as my like very small row home in South Philly.
I don't know if you're crapping on someone. I just don't know. Is it all of Idaho? Yourself? A little of both?
I think it's mostly Idaho. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
It's not. I would choose to live somewhere cheaper if I wanted to, but I like it here because then I can moan about it.
I did appreciate the moment where Ashley and Steve are in the cab together. They share the cab. There is like contentiousness, but not really. Yeah. And very quickly they make Steve not like, because at first you don't really like him. And then I came to liking him almost immediately within like 15, 20 minutes of the movie. And they share the cab and they both say 845 Deerfield Circle or Court. And it's like, oh man, and that's where the guest house comes in.
Well, that's also they gave him the classic "I'm not much of a holiday guy" line.
Yes.
Like they literally wrote it in the script, and I was like, "Oh, here we go."
You need to
always on the road. He's always playing sports
Always
with
playing
his guys.
sports. His dad was in the NFL, so
not.
what's the right league?
No, I'm not telling you.
NHL.
Better if you don't.
In the
Yeah, the
NHL.
middle letter stands for the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then Steve, kind of gets thrown in with the team and has to do the various activities that a team member in this town is meant to do.
Town.
Yeah, specifically in this town, because obviously the town supports the Fighting Trout a lot. So they do things to give back to help sell tickets. And one of the things is this big annual holiday tea party. There's
Mr. Wiggles.
There's Mr. Wiggles.
I forgot about. I got to be honest, Kevin. I didn't want to blow up your cold opening there, but I had no idea who Mr.
I had
Wiggles
no
was.
idea who you were talking about.
No, I forgot.
Listen, now you might remember Mr. Wiggles was in another movie, but he played the crappy boyfriend.
Oh,
Yeah. He was, and you were
I'm
good.
gonna I'm gonna make you bigger there.
Yeah.
Mr. Wiggles.
Yeah. So
very nice.
You can write to Mr. Wiggles at remarkttheshow@gmail.com.
Here's something. Okay, I said this sort of in the cold open, but I am exhausted at the idea of man or person is good with kids, therefore they become immediately hot.
Yeah.
That is not true.
Cosign. And that's what made me, that's the thing, I'll say this at the end, I didn't like about this movie the most, was all the contrived happenings, even between the two of them. But anyway, we'll get there. But yeah, the kids stuff felt like forced, like an almost uncomfortable and creepy a couple. Like,
I don't really think there was much, so I think you guys are wrong. Keep it up the next slide.
We'll get to the snow. Yeah, we'll get to this. The snowman scene is also.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah.
But
there, you're right. Yeah.
But again, now we're like, yeah, kids, that's my nephew. Come on.
But hold on. Even before that, the part I liked was it wasn't like he coached these kids yet. It was he played on the team.
Yeah.
The winning goal. I was like, the winning goal is going to be him passing. And he scored the winning goal. He's a 32-year-old dude.
Yeah, but he did a sick move. He did a sick move.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
I'm just surprised he didn't check any of the kids or knock them over. Oh
we
my
didn't
God.
see the whole game, Chris. I mean, that's very possible.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm not we'll talk about it later in H3O, but not a fan. So
yeah.
Well, then we see Zettner gets called up, and this is a big deal because Zettner was a guy that Steve. I started calling him Scott in my notes, and I fixed them, but I'm still at this point call him Scott.
It's Scott.
It's Steve.
Oh, they listed it as Scott on IMDb.
Wait, is it Scott? I thought it was
Scott.
Steve. Listen, Steve, Scott. Let's just call him Briggs because that's his last name. And
Briggs.
Classic
sports.
Yeah.
Briggs, get in here, Briggs.
Briggs.
I want to be the coach. You know how we always give Kristin a role? I would love
would be
you'd be a good coach though too, Kevin. But so I don't know. Yeah.
No, I think that's fantastic. So then, Mike, you were the one who called Zettner up, and Briggs thinks he's getting cut, but that's where he's told, listen, Zettner coached the kids, and I'm going to need you to coach the kids hockey team.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really push back on it. He's like, I'm not really a coach. He said, I saw how you worked with some of your teammates. Yeah. And that's how he endears himself very quickly to his teammates. So,
but also I feel like he didn't want to be a coach because there's that element of his father said, if you're not good, you coach.
Yeah.
So it's like he had this overwhelming dad anxiety over this man, which
very
is
cold trickle or Maverick.
So he didn't want to coach
Gordon Bombay,
and he wasn't a big holiday guy.
Way to keep it in the sport, Mike.
Wait, Gordon redeemed himself, so it's at the top.
Yeah. Well, no.
It takes him a while.
Yeah, he doesn't redeem himself at first. He's an alcoholic who drives a limo on the ice. I mean, that's a whole other movie. If that happened here, though. But we also find not only is his dad basically married to the NHL and not much of a father figure, his mother, when he was 10 years old, passed away.
Yeah. Episode dead. Mom alert! Yes, mom alert! Yes, mom alert!
Does it have to happen twice?
It happens many times. It might makes it happen.
Yeah,
Here's the
it's on a
thing.
loop. It's on a loop. It's on a loop.
It's so.
This
Not
year,
appropriate. Not appropriate.
Remark has a very special task that we have saddled ourselves with, and it's this. I think I may have teased this online. I forget, but we are going to see: do we have a higher body count in the countdown to Christmas than Die Hard? Die Hard has 23 dead people
I like
in
this.
the movie.
So this is one. This is one.
This is number one. We've got so many weeks left, so many movies left.
What are the rules? So the rules, because in Die Hard he kills them. But
no, these are not all killed by John McClane. This is just everyone that dies in Die Hard.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's any reference to a dead relative counts.
Yeah,
great.
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful.
I love it.
And it has to be referenced because we can't go, oh, I'm sure that person had grandparents. Sure. Yeah, that doesn't.
No, it has to be majorly referenced.
Yep. Got it.
Would like knocking over a snowman count as death?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, to some, but
I'm just figuring out our guidelines.
We're strictly going human on this. I will allow pets.
A dead dog?
If a pet,
I think we should allow
pet
pets.
comes up, I will allow that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Because they're family members. They're family members. Yeah, they've never. Hallmark they're not monsters.
No.
Sarah McLachlan.
No.
They're not going to break us. Oh, please don't do that to us, Hallmark.
Kevin, do you happen to have any pictures? I don't want to talk about this movie, and if we don't talk about brother-in-law Dave.
Well,
we do have a brother-in-law, Dave, but before we get to that, would you mind if we talked very quickly about Nana's eggnog?
Yes.
Ooh, Nana's poison?
Look at this. Yeah. Everyone in the family knows do not drink Nana's eggnog.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Briggs over here, which now reminds me of Riggs, which is Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon, also a high body count Christmas movie. Nobody warns him. They just give him a look, and then he knows he's in too deep.
What do you mean no one warns him? She literally said outside, do not. And he's like, well, I'm a guest. I have to be nice.
And they all do the joke. Yeah, all the family members do the like, ooh, like I got to go over here and things like that. But
even Dave
knows he's too nice.
Yeah. I love the moment where the kid was like, oh, I gotta go. But then like as he's drinking it, they have this shot of him just like coming out the corner of a wall.
Because he wants to see if he like completely vomits this stuff up. Like it's time to tell Nana. It's just time to tell her, look, your eggnog sucks.
Sorry.
Something about salmonella.
Yeah.
And I was like,
the egg. And that's probably there's probably a joke left out.
I was
Keep
gonna
in
say,
mind, this is filmed during the writer's strike, so they also may have been like, "We'll fix it on the." And it's like we can't. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
I was gonna say there seemed like there was a few scenes in this one that were just picked out of a hat. You know what I mean? And just,
I don't think that's writer's strike related. Right?
I know.
Might be.
But when she said salmonella is not a problem for me, can fish cause salmonella too?
Well, eggs. It's mostly
only eggs.
Chicken.
It's mostly chicken, but you can get it from.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for bringing it up, Kristin. It's very unlikely that a vegan diet. I know that everyone wanted to see how long.
She was referring to the eggnog, which was bizarre. Which is
at first I thought like Nana put like fish because they live in like a fishing town. Maybe. I thought she put fish in her eggnog.
She stirs it with a trout. That's part of the fighting trout.
Gross.
Yeah, I think Nana makes that in like August, and then like is like, I'm gonna age this like wine, and then by December they have to drink it.
We do then go outside where Christmas trees are decorated, and we have an almost kiss.
Look at that.
It's like the first. Now this one, they don't do the lean in at all. But it just felt like, and they never did what's called a two, where you see both characters side by side. They always did these OTS, over the shoulder shots.
Yeah.
But it did feel like they were about to kiss. And it was actually Briggs who was like, well, I got to get going. I have hockey in the morning or whatever he said. Yeah. So like, you know. He didn't want to send out the vibe that wasn't.
She was staring him down hard during this scene. Like they were hoping.
Yeah.
I think she would have kissed him if it wasn't fishy eggnog that he still had on his.
She was like, I'm not involving myself in that at all.
No.
I did for you guys. I did look up the name. Idaho Falls is a real town in Idaho. They do have a hockey team in that town, but they are called not the Fighting Trout, but the Spud Kings.
Oh, I like the Fighting Trout better.
Yeah, I do too.
Spud Kings is fun.
Then Mike, as our coach, decides to give the Necronomicon for some reason.
Yeah.
It was this very weird book that he gives to Briggs.
Oh, good book.
That I guess has like notes he's had as a coach. And this is where he basically says to him, listen, you're 32 years old. You're not very fast. You're very not. No, I mean, he was saying this stuff. He doesn't say it in those words, but he said you're likely not going to get called up because you're not what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But you are a good coach. You have a good hockey mind. And this, again, as you say, Chris, his father with his those who can do, those who can't coach mentality, he's got that block and it's not something he wants to do.
Yeah. It's almost like an insult to be asked. Which is like, I get it. The whole time your dad's been telling you this thing.
He came in a little hard, coach. I think it was like sounded like it was mid-season. I think you could start to plant the seeds, be like, oh, you'd be great as a coach, But to hand him the book and basically tell him mid-season, give up.
While he's on the ice with no pocket to put it in. What do you want me to do with this right now?
Here you go.
You took it.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Playing hockey must be very difficult.
Can I tell you something else that's difficult? Catching ornament fish.
Oh, there he is.
Dave was great. Dave
was great.
Dave has anger management problems.
I think I tried to look up this dude. I think this is one of his first credits. He doesn't even have a headshot.
Cute.
Loved him so much.
Was not allowed at his son's ice hockey games anymore.
No.
He has to be 50 feet away from the ref.
There was that moment where he started getting close and the ref was like, hey, 50 feet, Dave. And he's like, oh, sorry, Randy. He's like, no, it's okay.
But that was great because they clearly know each other. And but Dave is a lot. I actually thought this would make a good movie is Briggs and Dave.
Oh my God.
And I think that's where the movie, when movies decide to have fun like that, right, and create this kind of wacky character. Yeah. In this version, it was just for the sake of throwing it in. I feel like if you could have had that comedy throughout this one, is we're in a silly small town. The town's obsessed with hockey. Look at all these crazy hockey people, and I don't know, could have been a little more fun and a little less serious.
I wouldn't have minded getting to know each of the hockey players more. I liked that we got to know.
It was it could have been a little major league action. Yeah, there was Pierre and whatever.
I liked that a lot.
There was no game at the end. Oh my gosh!
That's in my main review too. If anything, it needed more hockey. I liked seeing what we did see, but it would have been nice to see significant more.
But we had to also make sure that we fit in commercial real estate because that's the job that Ashley had rather, which it's just, again, one of those things where it's that's what she thought she wanted. Yeah. But really she did it because her parents put all this money into being able to get her out of this town. So the idea of coming home to this town seemed like she let her parents down. But then she realized, I just want to sell houses because I can tell someone how to knock down a wall so they can see a better view of this lake. I don't know. I felt like that was so rushed. And then all she had to do was just talk to her parents. And her parents were like, we don't give a crap, dude.
Yeah.
So that was a little contrived. What's the word?
Well, but then both, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Because then I think the contrived part was that her sister, a friend, I kept forgetting which one.
Yeah.
There's two. It's her friend. It's the other.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. That's what I thought. They had similar looks, but then one's hair was up and one's hair was down. Sorry to those actors. I'm sure you're lovely, different people.
Women all look the same.
They were one scene each in the entire movie. I thought they were the same. To be I'm a local a real estate agent and this person's about to retire. Perfect. And I was like, get out. I was
yeah.
And you would never leave. Anyway, she seemed happy with her job. She just didn't like the guy or whatever,
Right.
Yeah. I like the fact that Briggs, when she's going through that of, the listing in New York, she's got to go back to New York for on December 23rd. Always. It's got to be.
Big city needs you on the 23rd.
Yeah, we don't do holidays here. You see how big that tree is in New York? But she, he's telling her, he's pouring his heart out to her about coaching and that he's kind of got this end to his dreams, and like he doesn't. And then her phone rings, and she takes it. Goes, I gotta go. And I was just like, oh, that's cold, man.
Yeah.
Speaking
about cold and contrived, guys. Speaking of cold and contrived, it's snowman making time.
Hey, like we could have had 6 more minutes of hockey, but no, we had this moment where he missed hockey practice to pretend he didn't know how to build a snowman and put a GD carrot on a face.
Well, you know, who knows if he really does know how to do that? He didn't have a father growing up. We know his mom did.
You're right. He never saw any snowmen depicted in his
just the face in general kind of gives you those context clues.
I feel kind of bad for these movies because just for our viewers at home, the Phillies just lost, and I am cranky. So I'm coming up with these movies like,
you're right. You're right.
I think we can't be.
No choice, no baseball. I think you're feeling the right feelings even.
Okay, good, because like it's just yeah. I didn't need the snowman build.
But this was cute. Look at their scars all together, everybody. Come on.
And this is also the photo that is given to from the family, mostly from Ashley, and this is the family he's never had and he's always wanted. And when he gets to Boise, he sees this picture. He sees the scarf that the Nana has knitted. Probably.
Can we talk about the kid scarf that there's feet on the bottom? It's so good.
I love it. I think Dave's scarf is just like they bought. His is store bought. Everyone else's was handmade. Dave's, they're like, just buy him one.
Then it was like, yeah.
I thought this picture moment was actually nice in the moment. And in my final review, I'll explain why I did not like the ending at all.
Sure.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it goes back to, it doesn't go back. It sort of goes back to this photo a little bit.
Is it because he's given this beautiful scarf and this lovely photo and he gives her a plastic fish?
No, I think it was a glass fish. I think it was a real ornament.
They literally say plastic fish though.
I know.
It isn't, but it's one of those glass ones. That would break. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, and then lo and behold, they both go their separate ways, but come together and kiss.
In the last, literally the 10 minutes, there was a lot of problems going into that final commercial break. And it all seemed to be fine. And
I honestly am always shocked in that last 3 minutes, like the wrap up of everything.
It's like, they're not going to make it. And then it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But you know what's cute though? Apparently in Idaho, you can just go into the airport without a ticket. Because he was just in the airport.
At least there are worries there.
It doesn't matter. I don't know. Oh my God.
Overall thoughts. What are we thinking?
I don't know.
I can go.
I was fine
first if you want. I did not love it. I was excited for the hockey premise. Yeah. I was like, oh, duh, it's winter. It's hot. Like, we haven't really done this one yet. It felt very Mighty Ducks to me, which I just kept thinking over and over again. But that's, neither here nor there. I honestly, it came down to the final moments for me. Like, I just hate the things that I hate, Chris, that you said to your thing, are when people give up things in their lives just for this person when they could have easily both done the things that they wanted to do. He could have played a game. She could have went up and seen him still. Yeah. She could have gone back really quick, settled that deal, made it back by the 26th. Like, there was no necessary thing that needed to happen. She seemed fine, actually, I think, with her job. She didn't seem that interested in working with her friends. He wanted to play in Boise. It was like he still had a chance to play in Boise and coach later. We could have still had the happy ending without them giving that up completely and doing the cliche in the airport, stop, don't get on the plane thing. I will say my favorite scene from the entire film, though, comes down to this moment right here. When Gordon Bombay misses the puck just 1 inch to the left, that was my favorite scene.
Different movie. What? But this coach in this movie. So now, you know what, Mike?
That's my review. I'm like,
your funny clip actually makes me like this movie more.
Great.
I'm tired of the really crappy, terrible fatherly type coaches. I just made a reference to Vic Morrow in Bad News Bears tonight.
Yeah.
I'm tired of them. And I forget the name of the actor who's also in My Cousin Vinny, who plays the coach, Gordon Bombay's coach. This coach really cares about all of the guys on the team, and the whole point is they're a feeder club. And that's what he is, and he recognizes who's going somewhere, who's not going somewhere. This dude's past his prime. he does end up getting called up to Boise, and he does end up coming back, as Mike said, which is silly. And he could have at least given that the shot.
Give it a shot.
And then, who knows what they need? It's not always speed you're looking for.
And the family would have been into it. That was my connection to the picture. Was like he had a place. They loved him, but they also love hockey. They loved their daughter, and they didn't care. You know what I mean? So it all could have worked out fine, but it had a dumb
exactly. My review is very similar to Mike's because of all of that, and also like the nice thing is like there were too many plot plops to me.
Yeah,
plot plops. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's that one, so that way that's out of the way. And I was like, nah. I wanted more hockey. I wanted
a lot of plot plops.
Yeah.
I wrote it down so we can reference it in future episodes.
Plot plops.
Plot plops in here? Yeah.
Is it time for?
No. We go to the next movie. We do that at the end. We do all of them at once. You know that. Have you never done? We've done like 40 episodes of this.
For those watching at home, you'll see if you've never seen us before. We just talked for 30 minutes of that movie, so in about another hour or so, we'll do a bit at the end.
I definitely think the last movie we go through a lot quicker. But then on Saturday, October 21st at 8 o'clock, we had Where Are You Christmas, where we see Addie, who wishes for a year without Christmas, and she wakes up in a world of black and white. She must work together with the town mechanic to restore Christmas.
Nice.
Oh, there's a little spoiler alerts there, Kevin. A little spoiler there.
I know. Teaser more like it. I didn't want to miss any plot plops. This is directed by Dustin Riker, who also directed Next Stop Christmas and the upcoming A Merry Scottish Christmas, and of course, 2 Tickets to Paradise.
I got 2 tickets to paradise.
Yeah. That's a callback to previous seasons, everybody. Watch our old videos.
Yeah, I feel like anyone who's watched any of these is like, yeah, I remember that earworm. And anyone who's never seen it before has already turned it off. Here we go. This was written by Timothy. Oh, this is another fun thing if you're new to Remark. I can't pronounce anyone's names, but Timothy Kuriak, I believe, who mostly is in producing roles, not typically a writer. And then Michael Rezes, who wrote Sweet Carolina with our friend of the show, Tyler Hines. And it stars Lindsay Fonseca from Next Stop Christmas as Addie Dean, Michael Ratty from The Christmas Bow, which was the movie we were trying to come up with in Keith costumes, as Hunter Blakeman. What a great name.
What a great name.
Jim O'Hare from Parks and Rec.
Hooray!
And Julie Werner from Tommy Boy.
Oh my gosh, that's the woman who works at the plant. Oh my god,
absolutely. Yeah.
That's amazing.
For all of us, Michael.
That's amazing.
This movie started off with a QR code. That if you scanned it, it took you to Hallmark's channel. If you scan this QR code,
I'm gonna try it.
Find out where it takes you.
Wait, oh my god!
I wish they did something better than just Hallmark's channel. It would have been funny if it was a real recording of Santa.
I'm so excited.
Like oh, it worked!
A little holiday treat.
Treat.
Friend of the show.
Love that, Kevin.
Let's make that bigger, just in case people are watching on their mobile devices.
Oh my god!
Well, if you're watching on your mobile device, you might have a hard time scanning.
Well, and you've also missed the entire purpose of this movie, or the entire lesson of this movie.
Great point. That's the review. We're basically done.
Yeah. We can fast this one. We can do it.
Yeah. This takes place in Red Lake Falls. I don't know if we truly know where Red Lake Falls is.
I don't think so because she's coming from big city.
Oh, it's Chicago driving distance.
Yeah.
That she was going to drive.
Like 3 hours outside of Chicago because she says I was 3 hours in the car.
Yeah. We have some of my favorite Hallmark tropes in this one. We have found diaries. I don't know why that is a thing that happens a lot, but where a parent finds a diary when the child, I found your childhood diaries. And it's like, this is going to come into play somehow.
But it also didn't have that much. I guess it did because she's she's all about her friend and the sweater, and
exactly. And the pictures disappeared, which kind of helps drive home the mystery of
all the rules. All the rules were tight in this one. All the
Do you think
the magic rules? No, they were not.
They also had a Hallmark gazebo, and we all know feelings for a gazebo.
Yeah.
So,
I will say that this, I don't think had Jesus magic. It had
No.
magic.
we'll talk about it. This is way more witchcrafty.
So
Definitely.
I'm on board.
Crafty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can address the magic. We can jump right into it. But before we do, we have to show this Elvis mural because I screen cap this and it's very
Yeah,
important.
sure.
If you look at this picture of Blakeman's auto,
Oh yeah.
on the side, all the way on the
my
right-hand
God.
side, there's like this Elvis mural, and I love it. And
Thank you very much.
yeah, it's,
Well, you can also tell that they. Sorry, I know this is this the graphic designer one? Yeah.
Yeah.
That is somebody that blew that out in in After Effects and just put that on there. That's not really there. That like
No.
auto repair sign.
No, it's not. Neither is.
I think you're wrong. I think that's
The exit.
in there.
The exit is just the one that's really hurting my soul right now.
Listen, no, hold on a second. Blakeman's auto repair was there for a long time because, if I'm not mistaken, Hunter's grandfather, who is no longer with us.
Oh no! It's a dead grandfather alert! Dead grandfather alert! Silver alert!
We've got
Find your
two.
grandfather.
We've got two. We're coming for you, John McClane. Yeah. So Hunter is a bit curmudgeon when we first meet him because he's taken over his. We don't know when his grandfather died. It seems like years before.
I think so.
Like-
I would say 3 years.
He said,
Yeah.
I think he said 9. I just watched it.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's whatever reason that stuck in my head. He said very specifically, like, my grandfather died, 9 years ago. Because he went
Oh.
away for a little while too. And anyway.
Yeah. And so he comes back and takes over the garage. No mention of his parents. I mean, his parents are mentioned, but I don't know where they are. Why this garage sat dormant during. That's why Elvis is up there. I guess it was cutting edge.
Wow.
I will say there is a line that Addie says to Hunter, Mike's shaking his head, but she says it, and if
She
you
says
say
it.
I've got
Yeah. She's got one ticket. One ticket.
he says that, he says, I literally have a ticket to paradise, so she wants to get out of town.
Say that.
Her car is giving her problems, and smartly, she decides, let me take this thing in and find out what's going on. Look, I'm a busy man. I can't work on your car right now. I have to work on all these other cars, and it looks like Jay Leno's garage. There's a lot of cars.
There was
A lot
nice
of
cars.
cars. And it's the holiday season. People need their cars.
Yeah.
But
So,
he says, oh, it's fine to drive.
yeah, but I'll take care of it. It was fine.
I just put that together. Like, he kind of led to her accident in
Yeah.
2 ways, by leaving his ring and by not fixing
That
her
is
car.
correct.
Yeah, that's weird. All right.
That's it. He's a warlock.
He's a world, yeah, that's the witchcraft.
Maybe he's Jesus though, and then it goes.
Oh.
Yes, we'll
I gotta
talk about
this is a rewatch movie, I think.
this. Not to spoil, this is of the weekend, the one I would rewatch. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
I will say Jim O'Hare's character, not the actor. I love the actor. I was not a fan of how the character was written because they never defined. There's 2 father-daughter fights in this movie. The one father-daughter fight is between a doctor and his daughter, and it was over lasagna, which is the stupidest thing. Dr. Rago and his daughter have a falling out over the way she cooks her lasagna, bakes her
Are
lasagna.
you sure it wasn't Dr. Prego?
That's a great.
I wasn't ready with the video.
There's a lot more of that in the next episode.
We'll put that
or
in
next
post,
movie. So, but then the 2 of them, Addie and her dad, have this contentious relationship, and it has something to do with the fact that she left town, but her parents wanted her to leave town to succeed, and it was just like it was very ill-defined, and I was not.
I thought so. He was like Harding, like. I mean, in the end, he revealed, like, I'm not actually mad. I just didn't realize how much I'd miss my daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about that.
Talk about
those.
it.
Yeah, each
then-
setup just needed a couple extra lines of dialogue, because then the payoff, which is what we're building up to this entire movie, was just a little bit like corny. You know what I mean? Yeah. As each person turned, you're like, yeah, I guess that was good enough. I don't know.
I think that was what was hard is because they had to write everyone having this thing.
Yeah.
And he even said it as his character. If I can't even turn back to color watching my son on the happiest day of his life, what is wrong with me?
Yeah. So for anybody who has not watched the whole thing, the conceit of the movie is Addie has created this app, and that was part of the QR code, the Santa Claus Wish app. and it helps you shop for Christmas or something. They never really even define that.
No.
But you make a wish in the morning, and she at one point kind of offhandedly wishes Christmas didn't exist.
Mhm.
And then she's driving her car in the snowstorm. She finds Hunter's ring on the floor and picks it up. And this causes her, is that right, Mike?
Yeah.
Is that how the transaction? It causes her to spit out. She's in an accident. And when she comes to, she is in a world of black and white.
Yeah, everyone's black and white now. So the mom there.
Cool. And they don't know what Christmas is. Like she says, and here's the thing.
No decorations upstairs.
I love that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch. It's not like they're just not there. There's this empty space where like they were there, but they're just not there.
But I will say I enjoyed the bit that their parents were going to continue their New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that was funny. That was
marathon.
funny.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, they start them in June.
I liked, and I also liked, the line from the teacher too, as she was like, "Oh, like this time of year bums me out because I'm remembering the end of the year, all the people that didn't, and I'm excited for the new year." Because I was sort of like, "Oh yeah, like maybe that is, like that could be a totally real thing." You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is what, so Addie kind of slowly taps in. She brings the ring back to Hunter. When Hunter gets his ring, it's his grandfather's ring. He remembers, even though he's the most curmudgeon about Christmas that we meet in the movie, he remembers Christmas because his grandfather gave him that ring, and it becomes a big deal. And he's like, "Oh yeah, Christmas. How did I forget about this?" And when he remembers, he becomes colorized in this black and white world. So he's the first person we see turn to color, but everything in the world is still black and white.
Yeah.
And to your point, Mike, with the friend, if you go to the next picture, and Chris loves this, Hunter in the scarf, because he's in color now in this black and white world. And you can watch our interview with Keith Costumes about this movie, and specifically we talk about this scene. He's hiding the fact that he's in color, so he's wearing these muted black and white colors, but he's in color under all of that. And it's great. It's so asinine, but it's so great.
So over the top, and that's why I really like it.
Yeah.
Because he looks like the Invisible Man.
Absolutely, it's exactly it. It's I forget who plays the Invisible Man, but that's exactly all.
I laughed so hard when I first saw this. I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm here for it.
So we do get, if you're doing a drinking game, you will drink because we do get the saying of the name of the movie, "Where Are You, Christmas?"
Yeah.
And then we start to see other people in this town that are in black and white. And the mayor, here's the doctor and the mayor. That's Dr. Lasagna. And the mayor, Gazebo Mayor, they're in black and white. They have in fact, the mayor has the line, "People are in weird colors." And I thought they were kind of going to go that route, which is very reminiscent of Pleasantville. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what the movie Pleasantville is. It's a very similar conceit where it's this black and white world, but and it's funny. I wrote this down because Michelle Stradley, friend of the show, said this movie reminds me of Pleasantville, but with Christmas instead of sex.
Yeah.
And this is as people start to have like more mature understanding.
World,
they become colorized because they're not the two dimensions of black and white.
Right.
And that's kind of
similar
what
thing.
this is.
You're
getting people that start to find their joy again. But these two, the father and daughter, have a very difficult time finding that joy. And the weird thing is, the father really only finds the joy when the town celebrates him.
Exactly.
And gets up and applauds.
That's why I didn't like that for him. And I think
I agree.
That's like a hard plot thing because they each needed to have their own joy.
Yeah.
And they made his joy people loving him. And like that makes him
it felt like they were like, we have to make each one's thing a little different. Like it can't just be all people realizing like, oh, my daughter does love me. She didn't just abandon me. You know, although that would have been the more realistic thing. You know what I mean? And so the absurd lasagna thing, the absurd like even the sweater with the friend, like the friend changed really quick, but like, how did she get the sweater? Why was that the thing that her sweater was?
The mom made sense because it was ornament. She made an ornament for her mom, and her mom remembered when they would make them for Christmas.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. I think that, one of the things again, not picking on Jim O'Heir, the actor, or even the character, but that character comes from a generation where men are not in touch with their emotions or being able to speak to them. And I think had he been able to do that with his daughter, that would have justified enough to bring him into color. It didn't have to be the town going, for all the work that you do. And he's like, oh, it's like, it's weird. But the whole time I'm thinking, if Hunter kisses her and she changes into color, this is gonna suck.
Yeah,
like that can't happen.
Right.
And they kiss and she stays black and white. And I was very happy that happened.
But I also love in that really amazing moment, they're like talking to each other and they're getting very serious. And then the mayor comes over and he was like, hey guys,
did you see the gazebo? It's all lit up.
But then he's like, well, I guess someone's going to fall in love. Zoinks. And like leaves. And then that's when they kiss. But I like that she, like you're saying, didn't turn in that moment because you're like, wait, is this Pleasantville? But like, I love
then she turned to the second kiss, y'all.
Well, because you have to, and I was okay with that because this whole point was she was kissing to try and change.
Yeah.
So it was like, and at that point you kind of took the air out of that, and then yes, when they ultimately kiss, they all color has returned. But she never wakes up from a dream. She never wakes up in the snowbank and is like, what happened?
No.
It's like, this really happened.
Hunter is a warlock and knew that he was just trying to play him by kissing him. And he was like, not having it.
Yeah, you can't break the spell.
And then finally lifted the spell after she apologized.
And remember, Keith costumes, she was wearing a blue, the same jacket in blue. And then the reveal later is that she's had a red one on.
So pretty. So pretty. Yeah. All those sweater choices and sequiny thing. Love it. Love it. Love you, Keith.
Watch that interview. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time with
Keith.
Had a great time.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought this was the best movie of the weekend. It's definitely the one that is rewatchable. If you haven't seen it, it's one worth checking out when Hallmark does repeat. Just look for Where Are You, Christmas? What are your thoughts, Mike and Chris?
I thought it was fine. Again, I like this better than Checkin' It Twice. I kept going in and out of it, like from black and white to color. There was the she says a line early on in the movie, like, this is like a joke that's going to get played out or something to that effect. And I was a little bit on that page, you know what I mean? When she said it that early, I'm like, you're right. This joke's going to get played out real fast. And it's for me, it's when the rules are set of like what the magic is, right?
Yeah.
I want them to stay consistent. And there was just something like sometimes they would find something that shouldn't have been there and that helped the other person to become the thing. Yeah. I know I'm like overanalyzing a Hallmark Christmas movie, but you're gonna do something.
That's the whole point of this.
I know. That's true. That's why we're doing. But if you're gonna have that gimmick or that thing, which I thought was a cool idea, it made a lot of sense. It was very Pleasantville, very Wizard of Oz. Like, I got bunked on the head, and now I'm in this fantasy land. It was also just funny that they were in Pleasantville. It's in a fantasy world already.
Yes,
right. They're in like a TV world. This was supposed to be real life, so it just was hard for me to really believe the characters being like, "Wait, what? Like you're in color?" Like people would have been losing their minds if, like, you know what I mean. So that took me out of it a little bit, but ultimately everything worked out like it was supposed to, and it was a cute little like new way to tell the story. So,
it is neat to watch in different scenes where some people are in color in the black and white. Because you're like, this person has found their Christmas joy. In Pleasantville, it really is that person's had sex.
Yeah, look at you. I like when the kid gets hit by the snowball and turns. He's like, oh man, I remember when I got bullied the last time.
Oh man.
So at least it's Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched this twice because we got to have it before, but then I wanted to just refresh. And I think it's a good one of this weekend, right? It's so hard to compare because we're only watching these 3 so far. So I'm curious to see because, I really liked it where it ends up on my final list.
Oh, yeah. That's a good call.
But I'm glad that we had magic and not just like,
yeah.
I forgot to tell you guys my favorite scene from this one. So every time she turns the app on, it does this kind of like, there's so many more days till Christmas. So my favorite scene, of course.
I know what you're gonna play.
This, yeah.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween,
I want to get to the there's.
The
It's almost time, kids.
Yeah, that's Santa. That's like the same voice. It's almost the same kind of ringtone-y sound.
It did. It's so funny because I didn't know you were going to play that, but I knew you were going to play that.
Yeah. Halloween 3, great movie. Then we finished the weekend on Sunday. Even though I listed it as Saturday, nice notes, Kev. Sunday, October 22nd at 8 o'clock, Under the Christmas Sky.
Yay.
In this film, Kat is an esteemed astrophysicist who is scheduled for her first trip into space next year until an accident grounds her. While on leave, coming to terms with the reality that her dream of being an astronaut is over, she volunteers at the local planetarium. There, she is paired up with the by-the-book David to work on an exhibit opening right before Christmas. Will the stars align and bring these two together for the holidays? Directed by Sean Garrodi, who has this is their first MOW, the movie of the week. Writer is Kristin Huntley. She's done a ton of TV, but this is her first their first Hallmark film. And starring Jessica Parker Kennedy from the Flash TV show. And
that's what she's from.
You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. She's in a bunch of those sketches.
Yes.
And of course, Ryan Pavey from
I got 2 tickets to paradise.
Can't believe we played it 3 times.
Listen,
So much space on my...
I'm sorry. He's done other films. He also did A Fabled Holiday.
Yeah, he did.
I've got a fabled holiday.
But we're not talking about either of those. We are talking about Under the Christmas Sky.
Right. Oh.
I've got 2 tickets to outer space.
Listen.
I've got
No, you need to play that one more time. One more time with reaction. Look at Sarah Parker Kennedy looking. Fun. All right.
I did realize after I made that, the rocket comes from a certain, and I was like,
Don't you dare.
Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape, everybody.
It was
And
not
check it.
deliberate.
Oh my God. I can't.
We also have newcomer Emmy Richardson.
Oh yeah, we got her.
How did you find her name? I searched far and wide and could not find it listed anywhere.
The end credits of the movie, and then she is now listed on IMDb.
Oh, finally. Okay, good.
Yeah.
She was great.
Yeah,
She was sweet.
so-
She was the bitch. She gets my best kid of the weekend.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And that's like just because I don't know, I just liked her nerdiness. Like they gave her such a cool nerd vibe, but she was like cool with it because she's like, no, I'm actually really smart.
Yes. Yeah, and she's very much into this world of aeronautics and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have Kat has an accident. It's a car accident. We learn has affected her vision at the National Space Program, not NASA.
No.
Ignore the logo. It is not NASA. We've all done.
I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is this real? Like I thought
I thought it was real.
I was like, oh, is this before NASA? Like you have to do this before NASA?
Yeah, this is like NASA Junior.
It's like playing in Boise before you get on Seattle.
Yeah, this is the flying trout, the flying trout of NASA.
Wait, so that's photoshopped on?
No, that's real, right? Good. Can you see the picture of Elvis in there too? One of the things I really thought was awesome about this, and not like I laughed out loud, was we see from Kat's point of view sometimes. So we see the fog and if it plays, that's it there where it looks like there's something on the lens when they're filming. That we see this thing at least 3 times in the movie where they cut to her point of view and we see this. And this is why she is not able to go into space, which is a big deal, obviously.
I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Wow, just lead in with the
thoughts on this movie, and I don't even know what. Maybe you should just keep going, Kevin, and I'll just
jump in. Well, I'll get to the brother because her brother Andy, we meet him very quickly. Her younger brother Andy, who has quit his job because he doesn't want to wear a tie, which admirable.
Get it? I get it, Andy.
You know that up front, but that's cool.
A lot of meetings that could have been emails.
Yep.
Event planning wasn't what it was cracked up to be.
But this character reminds me, as I was watching it, I was like, he reminded me of another character in a Hallmark film last year, which was A Big Fat Family Christmas. And you remember this? We loved I forget this actor's name. We loved them. It was just so funny. And the relationship with the sister. And this one started off that way and then got really laborious. It was like, okay.
Wait a minute. You mean you don't think he had mad graphic design skills?
Listen,
we looked at it. Yeah,
I didn't find either she nor him the problem. It was just overall, it was a problem.
Oh, yeah.
They always refer to each other as little brother or big sis.
Yeah.
This is so. And the thing is, we get to see Andy a lot. Here's Celeste, who he meets. And it almost became this dual love story that was being told, which we've seen that in Hallmark.
Yeah.
They needed to do that in this film. And
they did. They did.
They didn't follow through. Like, they would cut back to this once in a while, but they probably needed to give like equal footing because there was a degree of, there wasn't a whole lot of chemistry with Ryan Pavey Grady and with Kat. I don't want to say Ryan, but with David and with Kat. Like, he's the by the book, which is also weird because of the world he works in a planetarium. If you've ever been to a planetarium, they're very
fun people.
They are. The whole thing is about exhibit, and like it's not even just he's not a librarian. And that was the fight he had with Renee, his supervisor, who I at first hated, but by the end of it, I was like, yeah, Renee, I'm with you. What is this guy's deal?
What is this? Well, that's it. And he was kind of like curmudgeon with how people treat, like, obviously how someone treats your daughter, you're going to be hyper aware of, but he was like cranky about it. Like that was like their fight, was her taking care of his daughter. Yeah. And I was like, really? That's what we're gonna. Oh yeah. So like, I don't know. I'm glad we had that other couple because I was more invested in them.
Right.
And their chemistry.
Even the family.
Chemistry.
All of the family life. We'll talk about Lila in a second, but even the family, the mom and the dad, the mom was obsessed with cookies. They talked about the cookies nonstop.
Yeah.
So much so that we talked about the antithesis to mom's cookies, of course, which is Patricia Mills and her rock hard pecan cookies, which many mentions. But yeah, so David and Kat meet each other. They have to work together. Kat has all of these grand. It did feel like she should have been the almost librarian because she's the one who is the science mind. However, she grew up going to that planetarium. So
you're right. It may have made more sense.
I think she had more
scientist in, and she was like, "No, it needs to be about science."
Yeah.
Because I had a problem with them bringing, essentially, here she goes. I'm going to get all my soapbox, bringing Christianity into this science place. And I was like, I get that it's Christmas, but like, what if, I don't know. I think
they did a better job. I think my immediate reaction to that was like, oh God, here we go. Nope, no pun intended. But I actually thought they wrote it okay. Like, because it made she never said Jesus. There was a couple times she could have said and celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ. Yeah. She kept saying like the Romans followed it and people used it as like a time device. You know what I mean? Like at the time. So yeah, it's a Christmas movie, right? At the end of the day.
Yes.
So I actually thought they did a good job of going beyond that a little bit and making it not about Christianity or the religion part of it and more about the history of like the Romans.
But so and you're gonna have to jump ahead with some pictures on
that's fine.
This, Mike. But I think it's worth it because they show some imagery, like very Renaissance period imagery, and it's like it's very enlightening. And there's
some first just quickly throw up the amazing.
And then this, then she was, so I think we should do this. And it was like, wait, what? Like, how's that for your graphic design?
Those are some mad graphic design skills.
I laughed hard at this because I was like, really? We just like showed all of these like historically.
They could have done a better job with this.
It's for the kids. The kids liked it.
And they did. Yeah. Lila even says it. Lila, who's super smart. Lila, whose name is Lily, by the way, on IMDb. So again, the IMDb's
very confusing. Yeah, for the kid that's like, I love science, was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I love the animated son as Santa.
I love Pac-Man.
That was
that
rough,
looked like Santa.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, no, when they go through the exhibit, you can tell again there was an exhibit that was there that they used as a set, and then they just some paid intern had to like slap that stupid ass like sun on everything.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
that was an on the day situation
100%.
where they're like, oh, we forgot, and then it was like running and scrambling.
Yeah.
Dude, they went to Kinko's and printed so much that day.
So many of those Santa
Canadian
stuff.
Kinkos. So, Kristin, to your point, they have this fight. David and Kat have this fight because Lila has a moment. She has an ornament that she makes. They get stepped on by some bullies. Some bully walks by and goes, watch it, knocks her, and then steps right on the ornament.
I just don't like. All right, this is also why you shouldn't let me near children.
Yeah.
I would have gone over and grabbed that kid by a scruff and would have been like, "You get back here. Where's your parental unit?"
Listen, people were pissed online because of that very reason, and we'll don't worry.
Like, who's letting their kid just roam free and like stepping on
Those
crap?
people, clearly, yeah. That's how Dave parents, I would imagine, from a movie ago, 2 movies ago.
Probably.
So David comes over. Oh my God, baby gravy. This is not a great scene. And does, oh, thank goodness. Are you okay? Have you been crying? And it reminded me of Keanu Reeves in
Cans. They're just cans.
Yeah, this is where Mike. Do you have Speed ready to go in a clip where?
No, I have my favorite scene. Don't worry.
He gets on the train in Speed, and Sandra Bullock's like, "Oh, great, she's handcuffed," and she goes, "Take these off." And he goes, "The key. I don't have the key." And it's like that's what this was, and I was like, "Oh man, this is."
Oh God!
I want for those that are watching right now, because you said there was a lot of heated stuff online. I'm going to say this all to the end because there's too many points for me to argue. Sure. I completely disagree with everybody so far. This is my favorite movie of the weekend, and we'll get to it when we get to it.
I love you.
This is
why Remark was always meant to have 3 people, and not just we do hear though, because in comes Kat's parents. They help decorate a tree. There is like a whole setup and stuff, and we hear one more time about Patricia Mills and her rock hard pecan. And at that point, I'm like, this has become Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, where's Patricia?
Yeah, this has to have some reconciliation. You can't do that and just be like, it's just a little bit. We're not. So my brain locks into this. I'm like, well, this has to happen. We do have a ladder in this.
Yeah,
movie.
I did write that. I wrote ladder alert, and then I wrote
ladder.
Here's something hilarious that I immediately thought was going to happen. Okay. She's up on the ladder. I was like, oh my God, I hope she falls.
Yeah.
Then when she actually did fall, she didn't he didn't catch her.
Yeah.
He terribly let go of her. And
I thought, her phone. If you look, he's keeping her phone protected.
I legit, boys.
Oh my God, Kristin, I know where you're going to go.
I thought
I can
fix her eyes.
I thought she was going to hit her at 2. And that would have been ridiculous. But
it would have been awesome.
Is this not a more realistic catch? He would not have been able to scoop underneath her like they would have shown in it.
And that's it. In the old, it's what Kristin used to like is that catch them like it's a basket, Willie Mays basket catch. But
right.
This is amazing though. They had a fight movement choreographer on set for the day.
For sure.
So
there was some tracking shots in this too. I said I really like this movie, but there were some really bad tracking shots.
No man, there's a walk and talk that reminded me of Tommy Shalhoub and West Wing. So good.
Where they kept bumping into each other, literally.
Extras. He literally bumps into an extra and he goes, "Excuse me." I loved it. I will say there are little attentions to detail that I liked. And the next photo, so obviously Lila's in a wheelchair, and if you look, this house has a ramp, and I thought that was awesome because if you don't do that, it's just those little things that it's very easy to just skip over it, and I would imagine most people wouldn't think twice about it. Yeah, but it was great to see that. This is they go to the not NASA, and they meet a bunch of aeronautic experts. This is Jenna, Kat's friend, who studies comets. She mentions the Pons-Brooks comet, which is coming in April 2024. That's a true thing. It's April 21st, 2024.
That's real.
Yep, once every 71 years. So this is it.
Yeah, there was some good research in this calendar.
Yep.
All right.
And then I thought this was cute.
We
The
meet
hair-
Paige, who also works for Not NASA, is also in a wheelchair, and that was awesome for Lila. And she, said, were you always like this? He said, yeah. And he said, they could not run this place without me. And it kind of, again, it's like, it shows the importance of like, it's who you are,
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
I love that he was like, this place wouldn't be able to run without me.
Yeah.
Like, I love, and also this dude's haircut is
short long. He's
is
got the short long going.
ballin'.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope
Very
he
good.
does like a on ice wheelchair like hockey league because he looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
I can see
He does look like
that haircut. Come
yeah, he
on,
does look
see
like
that in Letterkenny, man.
yeah.
So then we had a near miss or a near kiss in the first movie. This is our first seasonal Kisses Interruptus, which Kristin, we've coined that phrase. I think
Kisses
we trademarked it.
interrupt us.
Kisses Interruptus, where Lila interrupts them not one time but multiple times, and they break up their kiss immediately.
Okay.
And they had a nice. I thought the first one was actually like a nice, realistic, first kiss that gets interrupted, as opposed to the awkward, like, oh, we almost did it. Oh, we almost did it. And then there's like the beautiful kiss at the end. you know?
Yeah. Agreed. Because it was really awkward watching it, and I was like, oh, well done.
Yeah.
But not to be, after all of the science, why not put a Santa tracker into this movie? So they have.
Oh my God.
This is them doing
Wait a minute.
commentary. Yeah. Are you not ready
What
for
do
that?
we think of Pavey? What do we think of Pavey's accent work in this movie?
That's his real accent.
Is it better than mine?
No, that was his real accent that he was using.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Isn't that his real accent?
He was like, this is air traffic control. I can't-
traffic control.
Oh, traffic control.
Laying somewhere, move the kangaroo. I don't
He
know.
had to make it realistic, guys. The kids were just in that where they were in love.
I literally started clapping the moment he started doing an accent. I was like, where has this work been? And
He's
we
the
need
stodgy
more.
guy. He's playing his character, and then he was like, all right, I'll break out a little bit.
All right.
I
I
really
loved
like
it.
this movie.
I loved it. It was
So-
so funny.
Then we have a slight misunderstanding. Kat gets the job offer from Monarch Space Center, also not NASA. They have another bizarre fight.
Yeah.
And
Good.
we fast forward to Christmas morning. Celeste comes over. We find they do not kiss. This is as close as they get. And that was a bummer for me because that would have sealed this is the other love story. And they kind of talk about, but no kiss.
Yeah.
So,
That's all right. We'll do it.
Yeah.
but and then Kat and David have another awkward exchange, which also features a kisses interruptus. And they ultimately say, let's just go to my house because if we got a kiss, there's one thing that we need.
Classic.
There it is.
Classic.
Well, we
I was
also need
hoping-
to do it in front of my entire family.
Which
because
is said, and I loved it, where she said, hey, do you want to kiss in front of all of us? And it's like, that's how they end the movie. So.
This would have been a great time for them to work in like another science joke or some sort. You know what I mean? Like if part of the history of like, I don't know, was like the people kissed under the first sun or something. Just make it up. I'm not going to look it up. And then she holds the sun ornament up at the end.
Oh my God.
Great.
Yeah. This is the only point where I was like, you just did this.
This is why it went from a 10 to a 9.
Exactly.
Well, then let's talk about the bullies real quick because did Lila's bullies get away scot-free? And that's what the argument was online. It's a Mr. Potter situation from It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
I say no.
What is this? What is this?
Hold on. I have 3 scenarios.
Oh, okay. All right.
Either Celeste getting in with the family crushes those kids' skulls with a stone.
Fantastic.
And then makes it like an alleged curling accent. Or Pat rigs the ladder for a meet cute with the floor. Or David impales them strategically with candy canes. Oh, I don't think it's might be too dark.
It's a dark photo, yeah.
That was the most dangerous thing I've ever seen.
That was hilarious.
Well, nothing is more dangerous than how they actually punish the bullies. Which is with Patricia Mills and her rock hard pecan.
Yeah. You are Patricia Mills. You're off screen.
Without a doubt.
I definitely was cast as Patricia Mills.
There's the side story.
They cut my part. Sorry.
I'm with Kevin. I'm with you on the Patricia Mills story back. Like that was happening. We didn't see it on the screen, but she was listening in. She saw them step on. She was there at the party. She saw them step on the thing, and then she follows them back and like sort of like the old lady, the like Hansel and Gretel or whatever, draws them in and then murders them. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
She hands them Halloween masks.
Yeah.
And says, why not try these?
Why not try these on?
Nice.
3 more days to Halloween.
Mike, what is it about this movie that?
Well, should we do it? Should we do our final reviews here?
Yeah.
Okay. I think in a time of like ridiculousness, right? Like with people changing colors and things like that, and like hockey players giving up their careers, like this felt the most realistic to me in a while. And it's the start of the season, so don't get me wrong. This could drop. You know, it's 1 out of 3 right now, but because of like the silliness that you all spoke to, you know what I mean? But it felt like a real life scenario. Like it felt when they were talking about their jobs, it didn't feel just tacked on. Like, oh yeah, I'm in real estate. Like she sounded. I think she did a great job of like sounding like she knew what she was talking about. I think Pavey was given a part that was kind of probably tough for him, but played it really well because he was supposed to be this kind of like boring dude. And I could see it. I could see her being like, oh, I love space. I like look at my bedroom. I've always loved space. It's always been fat. Whereas he's just like, this is a job. I have to make sure this goes well. I want the kids to learn science. There's definitely those people out there. And I just think I really like the brother a lot too. I think there are annoying brothers like that. You know what I mean? The mom was a little, it was poorly written, I think, but the dad I thought was kind of endearing. And I think the way they came together was very natural, and everything that they did sort of progressed this storyline of like opening the thing. It didn't feel like scenes were tacked on or tacked in. It was just like, hey, it was all for science. And maybe I'm also a space nerd, so like it hit me a little bit, and I like planetariums. So because going in, I actually came in super low. I was like, when I read the description, I was like, what? And even the title, I think, is terrible, Under the Christmas Sky. I don't think it identifies what the movie's about at all. Yes. And so we got our second vision impaired movie since last year. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah. But I don't know. There was something about just the way things went about that felt real to me and not over the top. So that's why
the ladder itself. You said that is how the ladder.
Yeah, that's how people would catch. I think there was a lot of attention made to like those sort of details of like, this is how a planetarium would work. They would try to do these things for the holiday season. They were kind of awkward, but they're still trying to get people in the door. So why not tack something on holidays?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sort of, I love the thing with the daughter and like her disability and that being celebrated and not just there as like oh, look, we needed the kid in the wheelchair to, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I dug it for those reasons. I should tell you my favorite scene, obviously, is when they go to the planetarium for the first time and they meet the owner of the planetarium. So here it is. Yeah.
Hello, children. My name is Dr. Adams. Welcome to the planetarium.
I thought it was planetarium.
Well, it is, but I have a bone disease, which impedes my ability to pronounce the T in planetarium. That's a pretty weird bone disease. Yes, perhaps someday I can get a bone marrow transplant.
See, and that's like maybe
I am cut it off before Cartman could say anything.
Yeah, it's a little riskier for our viewers after that part. That was my favorite scene when they brought them to the planet area.
It was fun. It was fun when it went to animated for that moment. Too.
Yeah.
Listen, again, I love this. I love that you found those.
I don't know,
because of the three, this was to me definitely the weakest and least rewatchable. Even with moments that I liked and appreciated and would like to have seen more of, I don't know that would bring me back to it. Kristin?
I will say she was my favorite actress of
good.
I think she's wonderful because I watched her in Flash, and then getting to see her do this, I thought she turned some what could be painful lines into something that wasn't painful.
Yeah.
And I think that's like heavy lifting. I love us some Pavey Gravy, but boy, man, they gave him such a dud of a character that he didn't know what to do.
Well, sometimes, Kristin,
yeah,
when you don't want to talk about the movie, you can just talk about the actor themselves in a little segment called
It's time, everybody, for your favorite moment of review, the Remark Holiday Hallmark Melody Objectification, page 3.
I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, the words were on the screen.
I like that Mike sings it. I just shut up.
I was like Pavey's voice in that one. Pavey was low. He was like,
he was a bass.
Yeah.
She's
like,
a bass.
I don't think that'll work. That was funny to me.
So welcome, friends, back. Welcome to H3O, which is Hallmark Holiday Hunk Objectification.
Yep.
I have really just sort of made it a part of our show. I didn't even ask them. I said we have to do this every time, where we objectify the male lead of the movie because the female leads and women in general are objectified far too much. So therefore, I'm also changing the rules a bit this year, folks.
What?
Changing the rules. It's
What?
still 1 out of 10 heinies. Okay.
Okay.
However, if you feel as though
Got a
you
purpose.
really, 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 really hate the character,
Yeah.
you can bring part of the human being
We
into
have always done that. We say we don't do it.
Yeah.
That's not a new rule. We have
Yeah.
done that since
give
the
it.
first time we did this.
I'm gonna
five.
I'm gonna play the. I came into this season though, telling myself, Mike, when you objectify these men, do not let their joyful, this delightfulness in our interviews sway
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Just judge that character. So I'm playing the opposite.
All right,
But I
fine.
appreciate that. I appreciate
Fine, me too. Me too. Fine.
only
That means
character only. Character
That's
only.
you're on warning, Andrew
Character
Walker.
only.
Mike is
You're on warning.
Character only. We
Mike is
can't say
Alfred
we can't say
for
those phrases like, oh, but like it's not him, and we're not objectifying.
Right.
No, we
Can't.
if you hate
Just
the character. you hate
Adjust the character.
Just the
All right,
character.
I'm going at the top.
All right,
I'm
sorry.
saying I'm just going to do the character.
All right,
also.
I'm
It's easier.
just gonna do the character.
Sorry, we didn't mean to throw your rules up.
These are
All
all
right, let's get started. Here we go.
So we have Kevin McGarry.
Kevin
McGarry?
Kevin McGarry.
Kim McGarry, correct.
All right, I'll start off this one. He doesn't do anything for my eyeballs.
Yeah.
He doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. His looks aren't in my department. And this character kind of was I don't know, I feel like he has too much emotional baggage. So also was like creepy with the kid and Mr. Wiggles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will give this character a
Go,
5.
Do it.
Five.
5.0. 5.0.
We have to go up. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Correct.
there has to be somewhere to go.
Chris, you have grown from season 1 of
Thank
Remark.
you.
This is season 4, so we've been doing this for 4 years, and
None of the men go back and look at season 1 because
No,
we've
no.
interviewed
Listen.
so many of them since.
with the exception of Tyler Hines, people we have interviewed,
Whew.
you've not been kind sometimes,
But that was because I was just objectifying their character.
right? You are correct. Who's next? You usually tell us, Chris, who you want.
Oh
to
yeah, I would like Kevin to go.
I didn't mind this dude. I thought he was good. A lot of the things you guys pointed out that you didn't like, I actually kind of appreciated. I liked him working with the kids. I loved him working with his teammates. Like, because he came in and he had a chip on his shoulder, but he very quickly in the first game watched the one guy shoot a penalty shot that sailed high and wide, and he worked with him in the next practice. He talked to the one guy. He was very endearing to his teammates very quickly. He just kind of stepped off on the wrong foot initially.
Okay. All right.
But overall, I liked him. I think he adapted really well with the town, the people, and their traditions and stuff.
But
And-
do you think he's pretty?
Oh, that's right. We're objectified just his look. Yeah, I think he's. Yes, you know what? I think he's pretty. He's a hockey player, and from what I can tell, he has all of his teeth. I'm
Yeah, that's good.
0.5.
6.5. All right. I am going to. I was going to give a 3.1 to start, based off of just the does he do anything for me, and then the character, and
Yeah.
he wasn't helped out by sort of his outfits, but Kevin has swayed me a little bit. I do think him. If there was more hockey in this GD thing, you know what I mean? Maybe we're in the locker room and we have to change really quick.
Thank goodness.
You know what I'm?
Yeah.
He clearly has a probably a nice body. You know what I
Lovely
mean?
physique. Yeah, sure.
And if we had gotten more sports and more sweat, you know what I mean, and a little more grit, because even when he was in, they weren't even sweating.
Right.
I think I would have upped him maybe even higher, but because of his good coachmanship, I'll give him a 5.1. I'm going to go 0.1 higher than you,
That's
Chris.
nice.
I know that was unfair because I used your
From a
score.
3.1 up to that, it's pretty good. So you
Yeah,
went.
well, because I was going, I think if the sports side gets a pretty a 6.5, and then I'm going.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Very nice.
Maybe I'm a 4.1. I'm going back to a 4.1. 4.1. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, 4.1. That's not bad.
Yep. All right. So there's our first scores there.
All right, great. Welcome to person 2, who we're a big fan of, and we're glad is back in the movies. I don't know where he went, but he's back. I just keep hearing, I'm so glad Michael's back. I'm like,
Yes.
I don't know where he went. I don't
He just
think
wasn't in one last year. That's all.
Okay. Okay, here we go. I shouldn't start. Mike, you start.
I'm gonna give what is this actor's name? Or sorry,
Michael
the
Rady.
sorry, what's the character's
Michael
name?
Rady.
Scott, Steve, did we remember?
Hunter.
Hunter.
Hunter, that's right.
Yeah.
Hunter.
Legal
Again, if we were going in the like, did this man make you feel anything
Yeah.
sexy at any point? Even when he turned color and when he kissed her, it never made me. I get why she didn't turn color. I think there was the Pleasantville rubbing. I think it was the Pleasantville rubbing off on me. He was. I'm happy for that he sort of reconciled himself with his grandfather's death and things like that. But that doesn't bump him higher really than a 3.7 for me.
All right.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right. This is a vet, by the way, that you just.
I acknowledge that part.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we all know Mike is a human being.
No.
Yeah, I actually did. I liked him. I found him to be a bit dreamy. I did love. I didn't have the courage to bring up to Keith that his name is Hunter, and the first time we see him, he's in very hunter green color, and I was like,
oh,
yeah, okay. But I did. I liked it. He. Again, this goes to the sexiness of it. Even when he was down on Christmas and he was a little curt towards Addie, he was never mean.
right.
And then he very quickly came over to her side. So I dug it. I give the guy a 7. I know I rated higher than you guys.
No, you're good. I'm starting low.
That's fine. Well, here's the thing. I mean, this guy got my jingle bells going.
Okay.
No, not this movie, the Christmas Bow movie. But I feel like this character, again, because I'm only grading the character, didn't get my bells jingling as much. I will say I like the beard a lot.
Yeah.
Really like the beard a lot. There's whispers of gray in it. And again, he was never a mean dude. I never had to wait for him to come around and not stop being a dick. And I don't know. I think he looks pretty good in pants. And he looked really good in the Invisible Man outfit. It's really funny.
He was cute.
So listen, this sounds like I'm going to give him some high score, but again, I'm really maintaining something here.
Yeah.
So I'm giving a 5.7.
No,
What is with all these weird numbers, you guys, all of a sudden?
It's more admirable to give points.
It helps,
round numbers. Yeah.
It helps it. Yeah.
It helps the wave. Yeah, no shirts off this weekend.
No shirts off.
But speaking of shirts off, you're swaying us here a little bit.
There it is.
No. I just wanted to remind.
A little bit of
I just wanted
That
to
is the
remind
character. The character doesn't always have a shirt on. It's just
It's just
Yeah.
I'll start. We love Pavy Gravy for weird reasons. I think because we get to say Pavy Gravy. I think because he was in that movie I won't say, so we don't have to play the song. But I will say that this character was a snooze button for me.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have anything that I was like, oh, that's fun. Oh no.
Yeah.
The thing that I liked most about him was this blue cardigan.
Yeah.
You know?
This cardigan. Yeah.
The best. Yeah.
And I just
Okay.
Even though Pavy I get it. He's pretty. I get it. But I think the viewers at home know what Kristin really is looking for in a human being. And this is too pretty for me. So that didn't even help me that much.
Yeah.
Don't get angry at me, Pavy Gravy fans. I'm giving him a 4.
Wow. I thought you were going to go lower. So I'm actually.
All right. A 3. I'm going to give him a 3.
That's the number I had in my head for you. So
yeah. I was trying to be nice with the 4 and the sweater, but
you want to go 3.5? Mike loves these half numbers.
3.1.
Yeah, 3.5. 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
I got you, Gravy. I took care of you.
Who's next?
You tell us.
Kevin?
Listen, this guy.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Got 2 tickets to outer space.
I'm rocking.
Yeah. The rocket is coming from a bed. Yeah, the rocket.
It's in between them.
a
It's
bad
not where I thought
rocket.
it was coming. So a lot of times a character like this can redeem themselves because they're a parent. And he was what we saw on screen anyhow, a single parent, even though the mother was in mentioned multiple times.
Mhm.
Lila would get picked up by her mom. He talked about how they had been separated, not divorced, mind you, too. They'd been separated for 5 years. They just got married young. They had Lila young, and they weren't right for each other. And that's fine. All that is totally fine.
Mm.
But a lot of times the fatherliness of that character can show through, even if they aren't the child's father. Like, again, going all the way back to Christmas with the Darlings, like, we fell in love with Carlo Marx because of that movie, because of how charismatic he was with the kids as well. Just like awesome.
Yeah.
I felt like, yes, I understand his daughter has a disability, but it's not stopping her from anything.
I felt like he was stopping her.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, so when she encounters the bullies, and Kat handles it pretty well, and it was pretty much done. And he's like, "You didn't text me." Like, a lot of my anything for this guy went right out the window. I was just like, yeah. So again, the character, not the person. The best I can do is a 4.5.
4.5. All right.
It happens, Mike.
I'm last. Again, I'm going super hard in this year. No pun intended. No rocket pocket. On the sex appeal. This year. I'm trying not to let the characters sway me. So I'm trying to throw the like fatherness out the window. Yeah. I think a lot of this maybe has to do with Sarah Parker Kennedy. Back to your point, Chris, of just sort of elevating the whole movie. I think she did a great job, and so I believed everything that she was feeling. Yeah. But he just was he was not sexy ever. I didn't like, the scene I didn't like was when he was stood back in the whatchamacallit, the ornament making thing, and like didn't even go over. His daughter was sitting by herself at the table, and like she had to go over there. So yeah, I'm going pretty low, and he never took his shirt off. So the candy thing was also, he peaked for me a little bit at the chucking the candy canes at the children.
Hilarious.
And doing the voice. But he's got a 3.7.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. We're all pretty low here.
Yeah.
Pretty low across the weekend. No, not too much sexiness.
They just weren't, I feel like the boys weren't boying, know?
No, they were acting. They were acting. They were all acting.
They were just, I'm acting.
Well, there you have it. That was another episode another segment of Holiday Hunk.
Holiday Objectification.
Yeah. It's up to you if you want to play it.
Yeah, I don't think it's needed.
So that brings us to next week. Next week is going to be here before you know it. We have four movies, because we are now going over to the Movies and Mystery Channel on Thursday. All 8 o'clock starts across the board. On Thursday, we have Miss Christmas Comes to Town. On Friday, we have Christmas by Design. Saturday, Mystic Christmas. And finally, on Sunday, we have Joyeux Noel.
I'm excited for the seals. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited for the Mystic one as well. The seals.
Yeah.
I also like that actress a lot.
Yes.
I'm in.
Yeah, Jesse Scram, I believe.
It looks kind of real again. It looks like another reel. It reminds me a little bit of the space one. But we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Checking out. So you should write to us and tell us what you thought of the movies this week. You can write us at remarktheshow@gmail.com. You can address it to me or to Kristin or to Mike or just us in general. We will read your email and tell us we're wrong. Maybe we got something wrong. Maybe Mike is crazy and that was a terrible movie. And you need to tell him that. We get it. Or maybe I'm absolutely right and the hockey movie was way better than these two posers are letting on. So
no.
Oh, right. You can like and subscribe. Find us. Obviously, we're here on YouTube at Remark the Show. We are also on Instagram. This will take you to our Instagram page at Remark the Show.
Should we pimp out one thing that might be released this Thursday or Friday?
Oh, yeah. It's this Friday. Absolutely. Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Hi. So we have friends that are in Hallmark movies. And I say friends because I can and I will. Because I force friendship upon them. So a famous friend of ours who has been in numerous.
Is that what the app Best Famous Friend? That's what BFF is.
Famous friend.
Okay.
So they've been in numerous Hallmark movies. They let's see, I'm going to give another clue. They are from Canada.
That's really narrows it down.
Yeah, my God.
And they've been on the show before.
Okay. What's the verdict?
Oh, so sorry. Thank you so much. We interviewed this person is on the show again. They came on the show. We interviewed them, and it was honestly because of the strike. We didn't want to talk to them about the shows and the movies, so we just got to talk to them about them. And
we had a great time.
So fun.
Yeah. So Benjamin Ayers will be on. We talked.
Spoiler! I thought I wanted people to guess. You son of a gun.
I don't want them to guess. I want them to watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No one's still watching. No one's still watching at this point in the video.
Yeah, I know it's an hour and a half.
Unless we put a chapter in.
You made it this far. Thank you.
Big reveal.
Mike, he'll teach me how to do that. We talked to Benjamin Ayers about Halloween, about Romance University, and we play a really fun game between Kristin and Ben, and it's worth checking that out. So tune in. That'll be out on Friday, October, whatever that would be, 27th, October 27th.
Nice.
15 seconds, everybody. Any final words?
That's it.
Episode 1.
Episode 1, season 4.
We did it.
Bye, everybody.
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away.